Hi guys, LCFev here, onto my FIFA 20 93 Summer Heats Nick Pope play review. This card is an upgrade of his FUT Birthday version, which was initially released as a fun card. However, this boost not only keeps that 5-star skill moves, but also makes him the third best goalkeeper in the Premier League, behind Alisson's team this season and team of the year. Pope is also fairly easy to get, so I'd recommend everyone tries to complete him, even if it's just to put him in an SBC. Anyway, as you can see on screen, this is the team I started him in, with Pope in goal. Wan-Bissaka, Ogbonna, Maldini and Carvajal in defence, Sané, Kante, Kovacic, Lineker and Adama Traoré in midfield, with Fekir in attack. Pope is 6'7", is right-footed and has a 5-star skill moves and a 3-star weak foot. In-game stat-wise, he goes up to 99 in everything apart from speed, with the basic chemistry style. I did use both basic and glove on him, and he played their best with basic. Moving on to his traits, he has the counter crosses trait and the saves with feet trait. So to start, I'll talk about his reflexes, which were decent in game. Sometimes they did feel a little inconsistent in terms of him making an amazing close range save, and in the same game, conceding what is arguably an easier stop, but on the whole, his reflexes were good. Inside the box, he does have the ability to make some game-winning saves from some of the best attackers in FIFA. No matter what height the ball is, Pope has the potential to get a hand to the shot in order to keep it from entering the net. His speed, in my opinion, is probably one of the best things about the card. It's strange having a keeper of this height, but also up there as one of the fastest players in his position. He does play a little bit like a sweepy keeper and saved me multiple times in game by having the instinct of knowing when to come out and collect the ball from the oncoming attacker. He sprints out to grab both overhit passes and heavy touches from the feet of the player, and Pope was very successful at stopping any building threat in this way. Even when players tried to take the ball around him whilst he was out of goal, the combination of his height and speed allowed him to steal the ball away from the ground, preventing an open chance at goal. Next is his distribution, which was great for me. Although he doesn't have the long throw trait, his throws were always accurate to where you aim them, and he managed to get a decent amount of power and speed behind the ball to get it to your player quickly. His kicking was very powerful, and you can easily kick it straight to your opponent's goalkeeper if you power up the meter all the way up. Even just tapping it was enough to get the ball to the halfway line, but after a couple of attempts, it can be easy to start up counter-attacks if you have a fast striker or winger. He also does have a 3-star weak foot, which isn't amazing, but it should allow you to use it without the kick being massively off target or under hit, which can be important when you're under pressure at the back. As I mentioned earlier, his height does give some advantages to the card. It makes him harder to chip, and overall, he doesn't suffer from a lack of reach in situations where smaller keepers might struggle. This definitely helps him dominate in the air when it comes to crosses and corners. He not only has the speed to get out to the cross quickly, but his height means that he will always win the in-air battle by either punching or catching the ball. Positioning on this card seemed decent in game, as I noticed that some shots just hit him central to his body, showing his angle against a shot was perfect. He did well to shuffle across his line against an attacker's sudden change in direction and against passes across or into the box. This also plays an important part in how he can come out to collect the ball so quickly, as he was always off his line enough to give himself a great chance to reach the ball without being so far out that he struggles from shots at range. It wasn't always perfect, but it never stood out to me as an issue in game. The final positive is his 5-star skill moves, which although aren't necessarily going to get used all that much considering he's a goalkeeper, is still better than having 1 star. I did try to use them, but I ended up conceding because he does still have awful dribbling stats, so I wouldn't recommend using them unless you really need to. Now onto the negatives, with the first one being that sometimes his actual dive animation seems slow, which is surprising considering he has 93 diving and is boosted to 99. This is the same issue I had with Van der Sar's Prime Moments card, which like this Pope is very tall for a goalkeeper. I'm starting to think that a keeper of this height hits a threshold which makes their diving slower due to them having a larger frame. It's important to remember that build types do impact outfield players, but it's something that people haven't really looked into when it comes to goalkeepers. This unfortunately does take away from his reflexes, which sometimes do override this, as he just seems to complete the dive animation too slowly in order to save the shot. I also noticed that he didn't really make many saves using his feet despite having the saves with feet trait, and having the chance to perform those types of saves when I was using him. The next issue I found whilst using Pope was his handling was very inconsistent. He did struggle to hold on to some shots, but you might expect a keeper with mid to high 90s handling to catch without an issue. Handling this year has been something that most keepers struggle with, so this Pope doesn't really have terrible handling, it just doesn't really live up to the stat. On the positive side, when he didn't manage to catch the ball, he never opened me up to any rebound goals, unlike some other goalkeepers. The final negative I found with this card was that he really struggled against near post shots. This probably wasn't helped by his slow diving animations, but I found myself conceding a lot of these types of chances from shots that shouldn't have ended in a goal. Everyone knows that keepers struggle with near post shots this year, but Pope let in a lot more than I usually see go past my goalkeeper. So overall, and with this 93 Summer Heats Pope, an 8.3 out of 10. His reflexes will sometimes take over his diving ability, which does allow him to make some decent stops, but his main positives come from his speed and his ability against crosses and corners. I'd still take the time to get him if you can, just for the high rated player to use in SBCs, but I doubt he'll be used competitively in people's weekend league teams since he struggles so much against near post shots. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like and don't forget to subscribe, and to request any future content, please leave a comment in the comment section below and I'll be sure to reply.